going to cost them. As you see on the right side of the screen, they're off now with the Fishes for the re-qualifying later. But at the moment,
one kind of scenario. Whereas for Mame, they have been actually able to keep things rolling pretty steadily. I have to give big kudos to
at these head-to-head matches. So I'm not going to be surprised if we see Mame come out on top of this. HLL representing. We've got an LH1 and a V9S in play. First LH1 of the day, at least that I've spotted Cthulhu, but going up against HLL. So keeping things relatively, I think, relatively straightforward as to what we know them so far, Cthulhu.
Exactly that, yeah. Fairly nice and steady, though. It's a bit of a change from what we got to see in the winner bracket as well for the final, whereas back then it was HML. It's HLL Kingdom here to be played around, and here already deciding, you know, it's time to in fact get mobile, get active, and start really with the vault itself. On the side of 4AM, not really as much else of a movement. Mame looking to try to set themselves up, but it is initiation by player.
You have to get involved, especially in a 3v3. If you want to take ground early, you definitely need to. But look at this. You've got wraps being set up already, some flanks. Realistically speaking, some great gameplay ultimately at the very beginning of this matchup. But arguably nothing too crazy, Cthulhu. They're very spread out at the moment.
More of a passive. Yeah.
Both teams, I say both teams, it's realistically only Mame that are quite spread out. But they want to play for maybe a little bit more shock and awe, come in from behind, find someone that's been out of position, like this, and ultimately lock in a single kill. And they've done it perfectly, but ultimately not enough support. Everyone being slightly too far away. They haven't been able to lock that kill in. Player is going to be very low HP, but ghost out of the sky. FPS does get one for his trouble, but Anna Lemon, unfortunately, not quite there. Just in the nick of time, goes down, and realistically, Mame, a good attempt, but 4AM just a little bit stronger in that initial team fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was a absolutely nice, clean and clinical performance by 4AM. They didn't really mess around too much, and keeping player alive has been actually a pretty solid turnaround, really, and pretty solid results. So now looking further into this, I'm wondering how will Mame be able to respond to this, because that was a pretty hefty one. Kiar is already taking quite a fair bit of damage, but able to really back out just enough time. And well, retake off A is now coming on in. Mame is looking to get some players, but players already low on HP, but
right now, things a little bit slow. Both teams waiting to find an opening. Looking to hunt for anything out of the ordinary. Speaking of, there's one down already. Kya found that LH1 at distance is absolutely deadly, but that's why you play it on a map like Banal. You sort of have to with the distance, but Hannah now going a great dome to cover. There's 3 alive, and they're ultimately going to let that steal go through. They have to wait 6 or 7 seconds just to confirm, but they have the respawns now, and they are coming back to get involved. They've got Ghost behind player leading the charge, but ultimately Mame, they're dialed in on dealing this damage. They are keeping them at bay and getting the flanks off, mind you. The V9S from behind almost taking out Ghost there.
Ghost, absolutely intense plays as well with the gate, trying to back away, but Mame is the one to try to hold on. No glitch grenade either here to disable the shields, and now forcing to back away. Player getting a little bit too greedy, and no shut down. V9S is the one to claim. Hana is the one to claim the final one, and that's an absolute wipeout. 4AM struggling to find their footing and unable to really find any reclamation, and the LH1 is certainly an absolutely sturdy weapon. Now moving onwards, well, 4AM kind of now being put on a bit of a back foot here.
Highlighting as well, mind you, we said at the start, China as a region struggles with 3v3s, and that is what we're seeing right now. The Chinese team, they were relatively, I'd say, a little bit more on par with Mame, excuse me there, in that opening fight. But it just wasn't the same as what we saw with DRG. DRG were just getting walked. Mame seem a little bit more locked in on it, what is happening around them. But 4AM, considering what we saw from DRG as a China representative, they're doing a lot better. They are a little bit more comp. They were a lot closer at getting away with those steals. And realistically, they are doing a lot more damage, considering the position that they're finding themselves in consistently. Speaking of player, kicking things off with an RPG there, taking down FPS. Cthulhu, I'd say that 4AM might be in trouble here, dependent on how these team fights are going. If they can keep finding these first picks consistently like they have here, make it a second, we could definitely be on for a 3-vault matchup.
That might just be the case, considering that Hana is now left all alone for the time being, and certainly for 4AM, this very vault will be the one to decide whether they even have any more gas in their tank, or if that was it, if that cash out, or last cash out, wasn't very much the end of the line for them here. But on the side of Mame, look, yeah, it's a bit of an upsetting turnaround that they did initially lose out in that gunfight, and sort of Hana wasn't able to really dedicate as much of the gunfire, but maybe we shall see something a little bit more as the V9S is being lined up, but Hana certainly having something to say about that one.
Definitely the case, Cthulhu. Realistically, it's just back and forth at this point in time, and ultimately not a great deal. I mean, Mame need to find an opening. They're looking for one right now. As long as they can lock down this player up top, they don't need to do it right this instance, but it would definitely help. Ghost playing for that cut. Wants to find players flanking on round. Kya has taken the vertical control, so now 4AM find themselves in a really good spot, especially with Mame on the back foot. They've pushed away, disengaged from the fight completely, actually. They've only got one close by, and ultimately might be acting as a gateway anchor if he can throw it away, but Ghost's giving the information. They know where they are, but it's actually Mame that need to get involved here. 4AM are locking it in for China. They don't want to give it up without a fight.
Yeah, perfect as well. Vertical play here to come on through. They just are waiting for the right moment to really get the get the damage to start going. The steal is going to be attempted actually as well. Player trying to drop down, trying to get some sort of a play here to just disrupt the push, disrupt the play, and the damage is actually flying on in, though it's not in the right way. 4AM falling apart here, and the absolute danger here that they might get absolutely sidelined here, though the steal might come on through. There is an attempt. That might just happen. Mame, are they going to be able to steal it? Oh, they did in fact!
Cthulhu, they've done it! Mame have done it. There is no chance here at all for 4AM to make anything happen. They were so close, but it just fell apart. Just
Then posted, and that's exactly where they set themselves, and further up in through the lower bracket on the side of 4AM. Yep, look, it's definitely